Good morning, friends and family out there. This is your man Kevin Nutt Sr. coming to you with another episode of Shade Tree Mechanic, but not your Uncle Leroy. Today I will be changing the thermostat on a 2002 Chrysler Concorde. I did some research on this, wanted to know exactly where the thermostat was and how to do it. Most of us who work on cars would assume that the thermostat is here, which is underneath the intake manifold, which should be the likely place as many other cars are, but for some reason Chrysler decided not to do that. They decided to put the thermostat underneath and up against the side of the motor, which is right here underneath the alternator. Now, most videos that you'll see on the internet will tell you that you have to take this cross beam or this cross member off the car, and then you have to remove the alternator. I'm here to tell you that you do not have to do that, okay? I believe in working smarter and not harder, so I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do. All right, first things first. Disconnect all your cables from your alternator. So you want to disconnect that, take this, tuck it out the way. All right, there's a cable coming to the back of your alternator here. Pull that off. Disconnect the cable that's right here. Okay, now this is a hot wire. Make sure when you disconnect this that it does not touch any ground, because the battery is still connected and it will spark. Okay, now this big cable here, it runs all the way underneath. This is the cruise control module. It runs underneath and it connects into the middle. Actually, it's the second one from the left on this box here. Okay, so you want to disconnect that. There's a clamp on the top. You just push down on clamp and pull back. And then go ahead and just pull this cable out, tuck it there, make sure, take the ground. Make sure you keep note of everything that you disconnect, so you know exactly how to put it back in. Second thing, this is your power steering reservoir. There's a 10mm bolt right down here, straight down there where my finger is pointing. Yeah, you see the opening. I've already taken it off. So disconnect that, put your hand on your power steering reservoir, and then you want to twist counterclockwise to loosen it and then pull back. Once you pull back, tuck it back out of the way. All right, now once you do that, there's two bolts on the alternator. There's a bolt here and there's a bolt straight down and kind of to the left underneath the alternator. Loosen both of these bolts. Loosen this one up, but you want to take the bottom bolt all the way out. Okay, when you do that, you need to loosen up the bolt on the tensioner, which is this silver thing here. And as you can see, the bolt is right there. You want to loosen that bolt up. This is your belt tensioner. So loosen that bolt, turn it 3 or 4 times. And then you want to, there's a bolt right here where my finger's at. There's a bolt here. I want to say that's a 15mm bolt, and then the front of the pulley is 15mm. So you want to loosen that up, and this, as you turn this counterclockwise, it loosens the tensioner on your belt, which gives you enough room to slide it off. Once you slide your belt off, tuck it somewhere so it don't fall off the pulleys. That way you can easily put it back on. Now once all that's loose, once the bolts here is loose, once this is tucked away, once the bolt is tucking out of the bottom, simply take your alternator and pull your alternator up all the way out, and then you will get access to the thermostat, which is this hose here leads to your thermostat. There's a bolt here on your thermostat, and then there's a bolt up underneath. It's a 10mm bolt. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and I'll show you once I get it off.